Hello and welcome to the Two Guys, One Cup Round 15 Tips. I'm Charlie Clausen, he is Will Anderson, and we are here to ruin your weekend with tips that contain absolutely no insight, mainly because we record this 5 days before we give them.
I don't think that's fair.
What?
That is the main reason these tips are no good. The main reason these tips are no good is they're by us and we know nothing.
Like, even
it would
if we
not
had
matter
this,
if we were doing them. Like if we had the same sheets
data
in our exactly.
No, like if we had, like the bookies, they get all that data. Like apparently it's like the most shit hot data. That's how they do. Even if we had that, we'd still get it wrong. Not positive.
We wouldn't understand it to start. Yeah. We need someone to explain the data to us.
Well, you'll understand this, Will. That is Thursday night footy is back in a big way. Third week in a row. This time it's the Cats licking their wounds at GMHBA Stadium, taking on a refreshed Demons coming off a bye. Is that right? Yeah, they didn't play last weekend. Big consequences for this. A loss at home, you think, would be the nail in the coffin for the Cats, although they do have another 6 games at GMHBA. How many wins are they on?
Yeah, all right. But Dangerfield's busted up.
Oh, that was a bad injury.
Yeah.
Too. That was one of those ones where it looked bad. He's a tough guy, and that looked bad. He looked to be in a lot of pain. Punctured lung, was it?
Doesn't sound fun, puncturing your lung.
Rib. One of those injuries where it's like you can't laugh or sneeze, I'm sure. That's what he got.
They're my two favourite things to do. Literally the only 2 things I get joy from in my life.
I sneeze so much I start laughing. That's what happens with me. Oh, man. Do you tip against the Cats at home? Chris Scott, you just feel like he's going to be on the warpath. I mean, if he's having a go at Jeremy Cameron last week, then what's he going to be like this week? Demons for me.
Tom Hawkins was doing his first stint in the commentary box in the broadcast last Sunday, which is definitely not today. Definitely not just a couple of hours ago. And I thought he did a pretty good job. Does that mean he's got one eye on retirement? What's going to be next for Tom Hawkins? I don't know. It's so hard. Look, you know what? Fuck it. I think the Cats are going to win.
Okay. Friday night, Will, the Saints host the Lions at Marvel Stadium. Saints coming off a disappointing loss to the Tigers on a heavy track up against rejuvenated Lions outfit who don't travel that well, though. Although I think they play quite well at Marvel. I think it's the MCG where the Lions have an issue. I think Marvel's actually not that scary for them. Big game for the Saints. We have gone win-loss in our last 8 games. So this should be a win. But I don't know if we will, because I think the Lions are pretty good. And
it's
Charlie
hard
Cameron
to tell, though. Because one week they're terrible, and then the next week they're back to being good again.
Charlie Cameron barely had a touch, and that's scary, I don't think. I don't think he goes 2 weeks in a row without having a big game. Although, I mean, I'm loving Ross Lyon this year. And his press conference, he is just so even-minded where they're talking about, you win-loss. He's like, yeah, well, it's fucking hard to win games. He said, who would have thought that, Geelong would lose to Port Adelaide, 2 months ago? Who would have thought that any of this stuff would be happening? Who am I? I'm Ross Lyon.
It does feel like that sometimes, but he's right, because that is the pattern of the season. Good teams, lose to, Carlton play like they did 1 week. And I love that Ross just feels like he's real resigned to that now. Where he's like, I guess you're going to win some weeks, you're going to lose some weeks.
Well, he just keeps saying, the result is the result. I'm worried. What I am concerned about is effort, and I've seen effort.
What I'm concerned about is getting paid.
He's putting that second story on my house. 5th versus 4th. I'm going to the Lions in this game. I think the Saints will be a bit sore after that heavy track.
Oh, okay. Shit. Yeah, I think the Lions probably maybe.
Okay, on Saturday, it's the Battle of the Birds. The Swans hosting the Eagles, 15th versus 18th at the SCG. God, the Swans fans deserve this. They deserve it. The Swans fans have had a tough year. People have been knocking them in the media, some heartless pricks.
Taking pot shots at them.
Left, right and centre.
From their ivory media towers.
Yeah, and I'm going to tip the Eagles, and that's mine.
Oh, no, you're not. Oh, boo. Boo to you. The Swans will win. Happy
Yeah,
days.
this one's a win big time, but I am tipping the Eagles because if they do get up,
Oh, my God. Hang on. I thought you'd
a little bit of
mended
Charlotte. Oh, but it's so
Hang
tasty,
on.
Will. I can't. I said I quit. I said I quit. But just a little. Just
You
one more.
said-
Just one more.
you
Just one
said
more,
on
and
the
I'll
pod-
quit, Will.
You said on
one
the
more.
podcast that you'd already quit.
Just a little. Just a taste. Give me a
No,
swinging taste
man.
of Schadenfreude,
You're
and
off
then I'll be
it,
done.
man.
Oh no,
You're
I will
a
be
new
off it.
man. You are off it. You said you're off it.
All right. Saturday Arvo. Flake Mantle take on the Bombers at home. Boy, oh boy.
Who knows, though, right?
Who knows? I reckon the Bombers. I think they're good. I think the Bombers are solid, and I reckon Justin Longmuir is going to rub a hole in his forehead by the end of the game.
I mean, I think that definitely the Bombers could win, but it's just also one of those ones where Fremantle is Darcy back. Like, oh, how would we know? But he makes a big difference to Fremantle, I think. You know what? Why not the Bombers? Good, yeah, all right, the Bombers.
Now this is bizarre because I feel like this game only just happened, but on Sunday, Collingwood are taking on the Adelaide Crows.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't that just happen? Where like Adelaide were leading the whole game, and then Collingwood that happened like 2 weeks ago. It felt like, but
I mean, it was not 2 weeks ago, but
you know what I mean? It feels like
there are some of those anomaly games where you're like, it's like we've already lost to Port Adelaide twice this season, you know? It feels, you're like, it doesn't even feel like we should have played them again yet, and we've already like lost to them twice. So
both teams coming off a bye, second versus eighth, but it's at home. It's at the MCG. So if the Crows couldn't get it done at home, I can't imagine them getting it done on the MCG.
I can't imagine.
Imagine if they
either.
did.
I'm not
Imagine
going to
if they
imagine
did.
it. I'm going to imagine that Collingwood will and say that
Okay.
they will.
Yeah, I'll tip Collingwood as well. And then, excuse me, before I burp into the microphone, the last game of the bye rounds, bringing the bye rounds to a close, is the Gold Coast Suns back home. I can't stop burping. I don't know what's going on.
Sorry, you all right?
Yeah. I think it's the bile from the Sun, disappointment of the Suns capitulating once again against the Blues. And they've got a chance to make amends against the Hawks. 4:40 on Sunday.
Whereabouts?
Hawthorn are good, man. It's at
Where's this game?
it's Giant Stadium, HBS Stadium.
It's at
Heritage
Giants?
Bank. Yeah, that's Heritage Bank Stadium. Yes. in the
Hang
Gold
on, why
Coast.
don't-
The Gold Coast Suns.
I was going to say, like, it'd be weird if they're playing at the Giants Stadium.
Sorry.
Like,
Heritage Bank Stadium on the Gold Coast. It's the,
yeah,
it's
okay.
the Suns.
That's what I'm going to say then. I'm going to say the Suns have to win this. But Hawthorn, they're a pretty good team. Like, better than you
Yeah.
expect them to be. But Suns have to win this.
They have to. I reckon Hawthorn's going to do it. I reckon Hawthorn are due to for another flag. It's been too long. It's been 8 years.
Yeah.
Their
I could
their
see
fans
it,
are
but-
about to riot.
Nah, Gold Coast have got to win. They've got to.
Okay. They've got to. I don't think they will. All right. That is our tips. Don't forget you can check out our podcast exclusive on the Listen app. You can also go to tofop.com to check out some of our other great podcasts. But we're done. We're done. Play on. 15. Not play on. Not 15.
All right,
I
we're
need to
done.
go to
We're
bed.
done. Yeah, all right, go to bed. Go to bed, everyone. It's
Paul?
Thursday afternoon.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I've got a 5 a.m. pickup tomorrow, which is great. Well, can you hear me still? I can't hear you. I can't hear you guys. I don't know what's happened, but I'm just going to hang up. Bye.